Hey, welcome to the Summit Host Hangout podcast where you'll learn how to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit. No influencer status necessary. I'm your host, Krista from Summit in a Box, and we're in a break from our normal series format to fit in a couple of incredible guest episodes that I know you're going to love. Today in episode 35, I'm so excited to bring in a guest to talk to us about running her third summit with a group of friends. And we're going to cover the unique audience that summit is created for and how they avoid confusion with the virtual summit terminology, how the event and offer have evolved from year to year and summit to summit to keep things exciting while increasing their impact and profits, and the key to 4 people coming together to host an incredible event without driving each other crazy. To give you some background information on our guest, she runs an RV-centric digital summit with 3 other genius bloggers. They just wrapped up their 3rd year, and they've tried just about every strategy out there when it comes to online conferences, including turning it into an actual real-life event. She has so much experience and knowledge to share, so let's dive in and talk with Liz Wilcox. Welcome, Liz. I'm so excited to have you today and hear all about your summit experience. And you guys, like the way she runs her summits and how it all works is just so unique and exciting, and this is going to be great. So welcome.
Thank you. Always an ego boost. That was lovely. Thanks. I'm so excited to be here. I love digital summits. They're a passion of mine, so I'm really excited to share.
I'm so excited to dig into your experience a little bit, but before we do, tell us a little bit about you and your business.
So I run a website called The Virtual Campground. It's a site for RVers, and I started it about 3 years ago, and basically I just have fun talking about RVing, and my mission in life is to help RVers stay happy and humored on the road. So I share fun stories, things like campfire stories. Yeah, and I also, my big thing is to run a summit with some partners. That has consumed a lot of my time the last 6 months, so I'm having trouble thinking about the virtual campground right now.
What do I even do? I've been there. Oh my goodness. So what made you decide to run that first summit?
Okay, so this is a super fun story. I started my website, like I said, about 3 years ago, and I wanted it as a business. I didn't start it like, oh, I have this blog and I just love RVing so much. I can't shut up about it. I'm going to start writing. That wasn't the case. I mean, I do love RVing. I talk about it all day, every day. I'm sitting in my RV right now. I live in it full time, but I knew I wanted the blog as a business. So about 6 months in, I wrote a book called Tales from the Black Tank, a collection of hilariously crappy RV stories. And if you're not familiar with RVing, the Black Tank is where the sewage goes, we'll say. And so it's just a collection of funny stories about RVing that, Instagram doesn't normally talk about. And I say I wrote it, but really I compiled it. I got other friends in the RVing niche that kind of wanted to, break out there and, do something fun. And we just compiled stories and I sold it under my website. And this really lit a fire in me. People bought this thing. Can you believe it? $10 they paid for a collection of funny stories. And I couldn't, in my whole life, I never would have dreamed, right? So I was in a mastermind with 3 other RVing ladies and I went back to them. We had our August meeting. I released it in July. We had our August meeting and I said, you guys, people are buying this book. I can't believe it. I had a really small email list. I sold to something like 25% of them bought the book. I couldn't believe it. And I knew all these 3 ladies were so much smarter than me. And whatever their idea was, they could make money if they could just put it out there in the world. So I said, you guys, I want to do a holiday bundle, but I have a kid. I don't have time to create more products. Like I haven't even been blogging for a year. You guys should create products. We're all RVers. We all talk about RVing. We can bundle them up and, sell them individually and split the profit. And they said, well, that sounds great, Liz, but we don't have products and Christmas, it's the end of August here. I said, oh, that's no problem. You guys are geniuses. I created my book in 6 weeks. You guys can do it too. And I think reluctantly they were like, okay, Liz. And they created some products. We got together with some other RV bloggers that we knew had products too. And they, we got back on the phone. They said, okay, Liz, well, now we have these things almost completed. How are we going to sell this? How are we going to sell this bundle? And I had just seen someone host a digital summit that was basically before that word, was like in the system, I guess, I don't even think she called it a digital summit or a virtual summit, anything like that, but that's what it was. And I said, we could do that. And so I presented it. I said, have you guys ever heard of Shark Week? And they said, yeah, the Discovery Channel, they play nothing but shark stuff all week. I said, we are going to do that. And it's going to be about RVing. And it's going to be just like Shark Week, where we just fill everybody's Facebook feed with all this RVing content. And then at the end of every video, we're going to say, hey, buy this bundle. Isn't it great? And they were like, oh man, that sounds terrible. I think two of my partners, they said, okay, one was reluctant, but saw how excited everyone was. So she hopped on board. Thank God she did, because she's a genius and I need her in my life. Yeah. And that's how it started. And we planned and implemented that first summit in 3 weeks.
Oh my goodness. How did all of that go? Were there a lot of bumps in the road, or did it go pretty smoothly since there were so many of you working on it?
It was like a Christmas miracle. It went so well. I mean, from my perspective and my memory, this was 2 years ago, guys. So I think it went really well. What was super cool about it was we planned it Monday through Friday. We got these people to say yes. Some people said, no, we're not interested in being part of this bundle thing. That doesn't really make much sense. And some people said yes, but we kept adding things, we're going to go noon through 8 p.m. And then it was, we can sprinkle in a little more. Let's do live interviews. Let's do this and that. And I remember Monday during one of my live videos, I said something like, Friday, we've got a big surprise. It just came out. And so I get off the phone and my partner said, Liz, we have no surprise for Friday. What are you talking about? And I was like, I don't know. It just seemed right. We'll figure out something. And this was before I knew, about bonuses and teasing content. It was just all natural, me opening my big mouth. And someone contacted me who at the time I thought was like the biggest RV YouTuber that there ever lived. And they said, we heard you're putting this thing together. We'd love to be a part of it. And I was like, that's going to be the surprise on Friday. And that was within 20 minutes of me saying, I've got a big surprise. And it was amazing. So for me, I think everything just fell into place so nicely. It was like the universe, God, whatever you believe in, was saying like, yes, this is what you should be doing. This is how you make your mark. And I would say it was successful because for me, it was about proving to my friends that they could make money online. If I could make money from a book about RV black tanks, whatever their idea was, it was bigger and better than mine. And so this was a way of saying like, we're sticking around. We know we're new bloggers, but hey, together we can do anything. And that was a success that first year, because that's exactly what we did. People knew who we were and that we were not messing around.
I love how all of this just came together. I also just love the sound of how you work, because it kind of sounds similar to me, except like on steroids almost, where you have an idea and you're just like, all right.
Oh yeah, I just go for it.
I love it. Let's back up a little bit. I should have asked this before, but we'll do it now. Tell us about how your summit works. Like, who is it? We kind of have an idea of who it's for, but what's the goal around it? How do you monetize it? All that good stuff.
Sure. So that first year, like I said, it was a bundle of products, and the summit was basically a platform to sell that bundle. And that worked pretty well. We didn't really know what we were doing. We sold in 5 days. We made like 43 sales, at $100. We thought we were rich beyond rich. We like, quit your job, buy the Porsche. Like, we are done. The deal is sealed. And, I mean, that's how I felt. And we split everything evenly with anyone that participated that year. So the next year we came to the table again, and we knew it was going to be bigger. We had all been working. We had taken that platform and went back to our individual businesses and blogs and really kind of went from there. So the second year we had to come back and we restructured it. We didn't have this bundle of products anymore. We had all kind of, taken it back to our own platforms and built different things, but we knew we wanted to do it again. And I had another big idea of how we were going to make money and make it different from the year before without having to pull in all these different products. And of course, by this time, this was about a year ago, when we would release the second version, I thought to myself, like, we could sell the videos the way that these other summits that are coming out, we can do that too. But I thought to myself, how else can we incentivize? And so we created a coupon book, and it's kind of like what you think of when, the high school cheerleading squad is selling local coupons, for a fundraiser to go to finals or whatever. And I said, that'll be, our viewers as a whole. There's a lot of YouTube content. There's a lot of blogs out there. And so maybe they don't see the value in the videos as much, but my God, do they love to save money. And dang it, we're going to give them away all in one place to save money. So it was really about thinking about the audience and what they really wanted. I knew what they needed. They needed the videos, but I know they want to save money, and people buy what they want, right? We don't always buy what we need. And so that was our way of positioning ourselves to, maximize value for our attendees. And so the second year it was structured in a way that you got the videos, but hey, you're also getting this coupon book, and that had all the speakers in it. If they had a course, if they had, an awesome freebie they were willing to give away, whatever, well, not a freebie because it was a coupon book, but any kind of small product or large product. Also, we had sponsors. They put in coupons as well. And honestly, I can't remember how much it was worth. I think it was probably over $2,000 now that I think about it, but it was $47. We sold the coupon book and the videos $47 flat rate. Booyah. And we did really well with that. So this year comes around. We just finished up our summit at the beginning of November. We did it a little different. We did pricing tiers, no coupon book. That was a nightmare to put together the coupon book. Well, I thought it was great. We were totally going to do it again. A few people were asking, are you going to do the book? I said yes. My partner said, Liz, that was a nightmare. Like, great idea, bad invention. That was really hard to put together. Can we please think of something else? And honestly, at this point, I was a bit out of ideas. I was a little burnt out because I had just launched a course for my personal blog. And so I said, okay, well, what is your idea? It doesn't have to be my idea. It just has to be the best idea. And they said, we're going to do pricing tiers. We saw that done in other summits, and that worked out really, really well this year. We were able to sell double the amount of tickets we sold last year with the coupon book. So I was right. They were wrong. Julie, Lindsay, Camille, if you're listening, you were right. I was wrong. If I was in charge of the summit, I would still be selling the bundle of products. My partners are so awesome. They've really taught me, what true value is and how to value yourself as a business and what you're offering. And so they were totally right. And we did pricing tiers. So this year around, we did a 30-day, an annual, and a lifetime. Most people bought up the 30-day pass, but we have a plan at the end of 30 days to try to upsell them to the lifetime. So this is the gift that keeps on giving. Again, Julie, Lindsay, Camille, if you're listening, thank you. So I'm really excited to see how this pans out, even though the summit is over, to see how sales turn out later.
That is really exciting. I am absolutely in love with the fact that you guys have crafted your all access pass, I'm saying in air quotes, around what your people want. And you haven't looked at all these other summits out there and taken that like cookie cutter approach. Maybe you've taken it for inspiration, but then you use that and branch out of it and come up with these better ideas and don't hold yourselves to one approach.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you for bringing that up. That's a good point because this is our third year, we have so much data. Luckily, one of my partners, data nerd, we've got to send out the survey. Don't forget the survey. What questions should we craft for it? It was amazing to take it from that first to that second year to be able to say, like, our people love to save money. Let's do this coupon book. That's what they're telling us. And then the second to the third year, they're telling us we want more of these videos, so they were able to see that's what they needed, right? And it was the best customer is a repeat customer. Of course, it's nice to say, oh, we had these thousands of people, but really we're concerned with how can we get the person who's been with us the first year, the second year, how can we get them to purchase yet again? Because it's much easier to make a repeat sale than an initial sale. And so we were able to take all that data and say, okay, this is what they want. They've said they want more videos of this. Let's give them more videos of this. And that's what we did. And it worked out really well.
Yeah, and I love how you're learning each year and applying new stuff each year. So are there any other changes you've made throughout your 3 summits? Like, how else has it evolved and stayed exciting for you guys?
Oh my gosh, we did an in-person event this year. We did a hybrid event. Toot my horn. I haven't heard anyone else do that. And this time, I want to tell this story because I think it's really important when you're working with people. Like I said at the beginning of the episode, this was my idea to do this Shark Week type of thing. And I was kind of pushing my partners. It doesn't matter if we only have 6 weeks to create a product. You can do it. And they all said yes to me. And this year, the tables really turned because it was someone in one of our meetings said, well, what if we did an in-person thing this year? You know, people have asked for that. You know, that was part of our survey. When are you going to do it in person? And I immediately rejected it. I said, no way. I've got a kid. I'm the only one that has a child. I have a kid. My husband's in school 9 to 5. There's just no way I can do it. I've already thought of that. No, I can't do it. And they said, well, why don't you just think on it a little bit? We're not going to do it if you don't want to. But what would it look like if we did do it, Liz? And honestly, I had to get off the phone that day and I thought about all the times that they trusted me. And, that really made me say yes to this idea, even though I knew it was going to be hard. I knew I was going to have to bring my child to this event or, spend money to, figure out childcare, etc. But it really was the fact that they put their trust in me in the beginning. And so I said, you know what, I'm going to let go, see what happens. And it was amazing. I haven't heard of anyone doing like an in-person thing as far as turning their virtual summit into something, but it was super fun and it was crazy cool to meet some of the people that 2 years ago watched our summit, our RVers Shark Week, so to speak. Oh, the summit is called Full-Time Freedom Week, by the way, because we believe in full-time freedom as a lifestyle. But it was so amazing to hear the stories and see the faces, right, of the people that said, I watched you, I got so excited, I retired, quit my job, found a remote job, whatever, and I've been on the road for over a year now, and you guys were a part of that. That was seriously worth every little struggle, nuance I had to go through to do the in-person. And that was also just super interesting if you like this idea and you think, you're going to do a summit over and over and it could evolve into that. It was super interesting for me because I was in charge of kind of all the live chats that we did throughout the virtual event. And so I didn't get to spend as much time at the in-person event. And it made me realize just how big of an event we had put on that, and lucky that I had partners and we were all doing this together, that they could focus on the people at the event and I could focus on with my partners when I needed them on the virtual event. So it was cool. It was amazing to see the 50 or so people that came to the in-person. And it was amazing to also be connecting with the thousands of people online in the Facebook group, in the live chat, etc. That was really, really cool.
Wow. So you did these at the same time?
At the same damn time.
Holy smokes.
Yes, it was the exact same time. The only difference was the in-person event. We hosted a wrap party the day after the virtual event ended.
Okay.
And I was pretty tired afterwards, but it's still settling in. That was only a couple weeks ago, but yeah, it's amazing to think like we pulled that off. People were saying, wow, I can't believe you guys are doing this, da da da. And it was really kind of grassroots situation as far as the in-person went, but man, it was so cool. I can't believe we did that. And you can do it too. If your summit evolves to that, anyone can do it. We just kept it the same way we did the first year in person. I didn't mention this. The first year we did it on Facebook, and we did all Facebook Lives in a Facebook event. It wasn't even a Facebook group or page. It was, you can create an event. And I said, oh, Facebook has this new thing called Facebook Live, and they have this new thing called Facebook Events, and you can go live right on the event page. And that's what we did. We just went for it. And I think this was just when Facebook was experimenting with scheduling posts and such. So sometimes we would schedule a video and it would pop off, and sometimes we'd say, oh, that didn't work, and we'd have to, just do it. And that's the approach we took with the in-person event too. Like you just show up and see what happens.
Yep. And I think that is such a good lesson I want everyone to take from all of this from the very beginning of the planning process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can consume all of the resources out there, but you never know what it's going to be like until you get started. And you just have to go in with the mindset that I'm going to come across some barriers. And when I do, I'm just going to keep going. And you guys are proof that it works. You can work around any barrier and find a solution.
No one watching your summit knows really when something goes wrong. I mean, unless the video literally isn't working. But the great thing about summits and going live once an hour, or going live with a video once an hour, etc., is the audience is so engaged. And what I love about this type of product and event is that it's is an event. People are excited. They are engaged. It's not, I love email. I'm the email queen, but it's not an email where you're talking one-on-one. People are able to talk to each other. And so when those things do go wrong that are so blatantly obvious that even the attendee knows, they want to rally behind you, right? Like our website went down during this event, our third year, and the website goes down. Like we host on Squarespace, which is like crazy to begin with, but squarespace.com went down. And so our website went down for a little bit, but we wouldn't have even known unless people in the Facebook group were tagging us, Liz, Lindsay, your site's not working. I'm getting this error. And we were able to solve it. The solution was to just wait because it wasn't our problem, but we were able to address it and solve it very quickly because the attendees rallied around. So when you host a summit, it's a really interactive, it's really unlike anything else. And people want to rally around and, help you pull this thing off because I think they kind of know like, wow, this is a lot of moving parts. I bet she's, really working it behind her computer today. Like maybe I should tag her and let her know. So it's just a really cool, unique thing.
Yeah, and that's so true. That's exactly what I've experienced too. I'm trying to think of the exact situation. I don't remember. And maybe it was just a worksheet wasn't working or a link wasn't working or something. And yeah, like you said, no one is upset or like judging that you don't know what you're doing. They just want to help you keep making progress so they can keep learning. And I also love what you said about you feel like, your audience, they understood what a big thing it was. And something I've been thinking the entire time we're talking is the business I run summits for, my audience is all business owners. So they know what summits are. I don't have to do a lot of education. There aren't a lot of questions around that. But your audience probably doesn't, I'm guessing. So do you have any tips for someone listening who thinks their audience might not know what a summit is and how they can make it easier to understand?
Yeah, sure. So of course, our viewers, they know what YouTube is, a blog, etc. That's what they're used to. Don't really know what a virtual summit is, digital summit. They're not too savvy on this. It's a very business to consumer situation here. For me, I think our name itself helps with this. It's called Full-Time Freedom Week. And when people hear that word week at the end, they think of an event. Right? Like Shark Week, like, oh, that's an event on Discovery Channel. I mean, literally, that's how how it came to be. And so think about how you want to name it. If your audience doesn't know what a digital summit is, maybe not call it a digital summit. We say on our webpage, virtual event. Watch from your computer, 100% online. And of course, this is still a pain point. Some people still don't understand. And we have to say it's actually called a digital summit. It's like a conference, but it's 100% online. Hosted on our website. I would suggest to you putting that language right there on your landing page or your front page of your website, but also think about what does your audience know that they can relate to? And so our audience knows rallies. Our viewers go to rallies. They go to big events like that. And so us positioning it as an online rally, a big online event, really helps people get it. It's like, oh, when you go to a rally and you have seminars, et cetera, that is this, but you do not have to leave your dinette. And I say dinette because that's where people are watching in their RV. You don't have to leave your driver's seat. And you can't see right now, but I'm literally pointing to the driver's seat behind my dinette. So think about what your audience knows about events and translate that wording into online.
So true. And Like, and I think because of how we learn, a lot of people get caught up with that and they think they have to call it a virtual summit or online summit. And then it just leads to more confusion. So I love how specific you were able to get. Like a rally, that's not a term I'm familiar with,
Right.
but it connected with your people. And I just love that advice. Honestly, I just love everything about how you guys have put this summit together, that there's a team of you who are clearly good at different pieces. You've just let it evolve over time and grow. I'm curious as to what the biggest tip is you would give someone getting ready to run their first summit.
Just do it. Do it, and then do it again, and do it again. And if you have people you can trust, have partners, because holy crap, it can be a lot of work. And I really attest, to our growth. The first year we had 1,000 people. The next year we had almost 5,000. This year, over 7,000. I think the first year to the second year, we grew by like 800% in profits. And this year we nearly doubled our profits again. I could not have done that by myself. And I don't think any of my partners could have done that by themselves. So if there is someone in your niche that you network with, you're comfortable with, if you think you can go there, I would go there. I would partner up with someone. I met some ladies that were in a mastermind together at a conference a couple months ago. And a few weeks later, I saw 2 of them spearheading a summit, and the other 2 were like the keynote speakers. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's such a good idea. I'm so glad someone else thought of it. And I congratulated them and said, I wouldn't be anywhere if, I didn't have my partners to take this idea and make it into something bigger and better than I ever could have imagined. And so, if you're going to go it alone, number one advice is do it and then do it again. The first year, it might seem like, oh, all that effort. But once you get a system in place, it's so much easier to do it again and again and again. And, all those ideas you have for the first year, you can put in a file for next year or next 6 months, whatever the case is.
Oh, I love it. And that was going to be my last question, but now I want to ask you one more because you're talking about your partners and how well you work together. What do you think is the key that makes that collaboration work really well and not be more troublesome? Because I could see it going either way, right? Either it's a dream come true or the opposite of that. Yeah. So what makes you guys work so well together?
Well, I think we've definitely had our ups and downs, but the thing that really makes us work is that we want it to work. We're not afraid of conflict. We're also not afraid to take full ownership. I know some people ask, well, how can you split profits, or how do you value one person's work as equally as the other? But I think we are all, I don't know, it's like serendipity or something. We all are so good at individual things and it kind of meshes well, but we all take ownership. And for us, like I said, this was to prove to each other that we could make money online. That was the foundation, and we did prove it. And so every year it's proving again and again to ourselves and to our speakers. Whenever I ask speakers, I'm like, this event was grounded in collaboration over competition. We want you to succeed as much as we want ourselves to succeed. And so it's not about, how much money I'm making as the individual. It's about how much impact and, of course, profit can we make together. How big can we get together? And it's always been about that, even through conflict. We've had our fair share, but it's always been, this is not about me and it's not about you. This is about proving that we can work together, especially as women. We're 4 women. You don't often see that, right? And so I'm just going to manifest this and put it in the universe. I told them when we were at our in-person thing, I said, I want the 4 of us in Forbes. Like, this is the picture that's going in Forbes. We're going to take it right now. Like, the story of 4 women working through conflict and just serving their audience the best they can, letting each other do their own things, work in their zones of genius. And so it's always been about making that giant impact and collectively proving that you can serve and you can serve well together. And so I think that's what makes it work through, all the craziness, especially we work remotely. This in-person event was the first time the 4 of us have been together in almost 2 years. And so that texting and things get lost in translation. It's, this person so well business-wise, but sometimes you forget to take into personal accounts, like what they're going through. And we are all full-time RVers. So sometimes at any one point, we can all be in different time zones. Last year, one of our partners during the event was in Thailand. It really just is, we all take 100% ownership. You know, I might be 25% of the partnership, but I'm taking full ownership of the event in a positive light. And it's never been about individual profit or gain. It's always about how we can make the biggest footprint together.
Such a
I
powerful
love
message.
them.
And yeah, it's so well put. That, like, I got goosebumps while you were talking. So that was beautiful. Oh, thank you so much for everything you shared today so freely. Where can people go to learn more about you and what you offer?
Sure. So if you want to check out the summit, we are not live right now, but you can, if you want to get a behind the scenes, how we do things, etc., you can check out fulltimefreedomweek.com. And we have a, subscribe for updates buttons type of thing. You can also, I'd love for you to check out the website, see how we do things. We didn't even mention some of the, aspects of the summit. And if you want to check out the Liz Wilcox, yours truly, you can check out my website, the virtual campground, virtualcampground.com, all the social media ats. Is that what the cool kids say nowadays? At me, at the virtual campground. And that's just, if you're interested in RVing, I share, fun stories and community to keep you out there on the road, sane and safe.
Love it. Thank you so much for being here, Liz, and sharing all this. This was great. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode with Liz. I hope you loved getting that behind the scenes look at her summit. And I really hope you let yourself sit and think on the different pieces she said about how she makes it work so well with a group of partners. And I think even if we do our summit by ourselves, we can still learn from her viewpoint on that. I really loved what she said about how she makes it clear for her audience. Don't get caught up in calling your summit what someone else, including myself, says you should, or following the strategy someone else is doing. Make an event that will resonate with your audience, and that is going to get you way better results than trying to follow someone else's approach to the T. For show notes and resources mentioned, as well as links to connect with Liz, head to summitHostHangout.com/035. In the next episode, we'll be chatting about getting sponsors for your summit, so be sure to tune in for that. Now go out and take action to plan, strategize, and launch your profitable online summit.